was so pleasantly surprised on how clean it was, and as well as the subway, the public transit. That is something that I am jealous of because I wish we had that back in Canada, because it would really help a lot of people get around without having to be dependent on cars, which is a really nice thing. Because
definitely, I think that public transport here, maybe because it's used so much, there's more effort in keeping it clean and efficient and on time and stuff. You would hope that Canada could do that too. Hello, welcome to the Easy English Interviews Podcast Season 2. My name is Chris Kent. I'm an Associate Professor of English as a second language in Japan. This podcast has been created to give English students some easy and interesting listening practice. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the next interview. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 11. For today's podcast, I would like to focus on two things. For today's grammar point, please listen to the way Ruben and Chris use the subordinating conjunction because. Because is used to introduce a reason or a cause, and it connects that reason to a main clause. For example, someone might say, I went to the store because I needed to buy some new clothing. Or you might hear because at the beginning of a sentence, like, because public transportation is used so much, there is a greater effort to keep it clean. For the English usage point, I would like to just point out how Ruben uses the word warm to describe friendliness. The adjective warm is most often used to describe temperature. However, in English, there is a similar meaning that relates to friendliness. For example, I might say, I got a warm and welcoming feeling from the people in Japan. Please try and pay attention for when Ruben uses the word warm in this way during today's podcast. Finally, at the end of today's podcast, as usual for Season 2, listen to the comprehension questions and feel free to try to answer the questions in real time if you can. If you need to, write down the questions first and then listen again to practice answering. Okay, so let's get to it. Please enjoy today's Easy English interview. All right, so today we're going to be speaking with another special guest who's come from Canada, and his name is Ruben. So Ruben, would you just kind of introduce yourself?
So my name is Ruben Norman. I am a media production student from Canada, and I study at Sask Polytech in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
And how do you feel about that? Like, do you enjoy your studies?
I do. It's challenging, but I definitely do like to be involved in that creative space. It allows me to challenge myself on what I see and how I can create these new spaces out of what seems to just be ordinary environments that people might just kind of walk by. So developing an eye for areas, as well as just being more aware of how media works, it's really interesting. But I do take a liking to photography more than cinematography, which is just video recording for anybody who doesn't know. And there's a lot of post-production stuff that I'm learning. I'm not too keen on it, but part of the whole entire study journey.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. You don't realize until you get into it how much effort there is beyond just the filming of something, right? So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So you're on this trip, and obviously, you said that you're here to record, take video and photos, but is there any other reason why you wanted to come visit Japan?
Well, it's somewhere where I wasn't planning on coming. So I was thinking this is a good opportunity for me to go somewhere. And fortunately for us, we have we're funded by an outside third party. So I didn't have to pay a lot to come here. So out of all the places I could have gone, this was my highest pick because I was interested in just how the world kind of works. It's somewhere completely different from from Canada as a whole. So it was both kind of for cultural as well as kind of perspective as well, to really open myself up to how the world works outside of my own home.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people take from visiting Japan, is that it's so different from their home. So it's a way to see, I mean, obviously it's geographically on the other side of the world, but it's also culturally in some ways on the other side of the world. So I think that's a very good chance that you've taken to come here and do it. And yes, I think for your first trip to Japan, if you're with a school group or if you've had help with funding, it's the best way to come for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything that has particularly surprised you about Japan on this visit?
I was always told that it was very clean over here, but it wasn't until I actually was here to really appreciate just how much care that goes into just cleanliness in Japan as a whole. I mean, we were in Tokyo, and in Canada, urban cities, so big cities, usually you'll find garbage or some sort of trash on the streets. It's inevitable for somewhere in North America, but I was so pleasantly surprised of how clean it was, and as well as the subway, the public transit. That is something that I am jealous of, because I wish we had that back in Canada, because it would really help a lot of people get around without having to be dependent on cars, which is a really nice thing. Because
definitely, I think that public transport here, maybe because it's used so much, there's more effort in keeping it clean and efficient and on time and stuff. You would hope that Canada could do that too.
Yeah, I do have to also say, the people, it was so warm and welcoming when coming over here, because you never know what to expect when you go to a new country. And I was very happy with, people were very kind to me, and they worked a lot, and a lot of people tried to speak English to kind of bring me into the conversation or make me feel more welcome, which was really nice. And I was very pleasantly surprised by that, and very happy that was a part of Japan and a part of the culture and the people.
Yeah, I think that there are, some countries in the world where you're more, worried about how you're going to be received. But Japan is definitely not one of those countries. So I'm glad that that's the way it worked out for you guys as well. Do you have anything that you found particularly difficult about being here? Or obviously, I wouldn't say something you hated, but like something that you were not so happily surprised by.
I think personally, I'm a bigger guy, so I'm heavier as well as tall, which doesn't have too much to do with it. But the amount of walking, I wasn't really prepared for that. So I tell myself pain is temporary. The memories will last forever. So you get yourself through that moment to try to really persevere and be in that situation. So the big issue with coming over here was actually being in a group of people. So my other classmates and my instructors, they walk very fast. So it was hard for me to keep up pace. And as well as there was so much I wanted to see and go at my own pace to kind of see angles for photography and for potential video that I didn't have the chance to do. So for me, that it's hard to accept that I won't be able to do that.
Yeah, I never thought about that. But in your role, more, you want to take your time and get a good view or get the right shot, and with people, walking fast to get to the next place, you don't really have that time. I never thought about that. But
it's a very tight schedule, so we were unable to just kind of have more free time, which I think it was a negative thing for me personally, because it limited how I was going to do my job, as well as how I was going to capture the moments. And you'll, if you ever get to see the advertisements that they're going to put out, there's probably going to be a lot of pictures of me at the back of the group looking at them and not getting the front-facing photos. So, yeah, there was more I wanted to do. So that would be kind of like something that was negative. And then, of course, the amount of walking that I had to do, I was not prepared, even though I thought I started being a little bit more prepared. So.
Okay. So obviously, you've been away almost 2 weeks now. Is there anything that you feel that you miss from home?
This is me being a little bit more, what is the word? I think I'm going to have to use the word pretentious. Walking into a building and just everything being warm, rather than having to go and go to that specific room that's being heated.
Right.
So that is something that I do miss. It's not a deal breaker at all. It doesn't make me want to get on the next plane tomorrow to go home. But that's something I miss. Of course, my own bed.
Of course, yeah.
But there is, I don't know. The food and the diet change coming from back home to here was it was very different from how we eat back home. So I'm sure there's going to be some foods I'm going to just enjoy when I come back home. I'm going to have, but I think I'm going to be more conscious about other things that I've experienced here and trying to implement that into how I eat back home too. So a little good, but I do miss those kinds of things. Yeah,
well, I think like you say, there's certain comfort foods that you really miss. I do too. When I first came to Japan, I always wanted to eat red licorice, and you can't get red licorice here. So even now, you can't really find it. So those types of comfort foods. But also, I think eating the food here kind of expands your whole your vision of what you can eat and what you can't eat, right? Some things you might not have even tried back home, you could try here.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any message for students who are studying English, who might be listening to this podcast? Any words of encouragement or anything like that?
Don't be afraid to ask others when you don't understand a certain phrase or a certain string of words. English is a difficult language. We do have a lot of repeated words, words that are spelt similar but sound completely different. So don't give up when it gets tough. If you can push through that first little bit and you become a little bit more fluent in the language, you're basically past the hardest point of learning English. So just keep on practicing, focus on the fundamentals. And one other thing is it's an issue of the English language and people who use it. We don't know how to describe things very descriptively. So we have to use certain phrases that may be completely they don't make sense or they don't link up with what we're trying to explain, but it makes sense to a lot of other people because it's a common phrase that we know and that we say. So there's still some Canadians who don't know what it means as well. So
I think it's something that when you're born into it, you don't notice it. But if you're learning as a second language, it's really hard. So that's good advice to push through and keep going.
Yeah, it's a really cool language, but I've also learned another language being French, so I know some differences in how ridiculous it can get with English and when you're trying to create a phrase or using the proper word that sounds the same. So it's difficult, but once you get past that first initial hill climb, it plateaus a bit, so you can
Right.
you can rest there for a bit until you challenge yourself again. So that's what I would say is just getting over that first little bit.
Well, great advice. Well, thank you for taking the time for coming here today. Obviously, you have a little bit of your trip left, so I hope the rest of your trip is, productive, fruitful, and enjoyable.
Absolutely, it's been awesome so far. I'm going to be sad to go once we're gone out of here in the next little bit. So.
Yeah. Well, definitely. I hope you come back.
Oh, already planning the trip. I just got to get my friends on board too.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Ruben Norman, and here are today's comprehension questions. Number 1. What is Ruben studying in Canada? Number 2. What does Ruben like more, photography or cinematography? Number 3. Before he came to Japan, did Ruben think he would ever come here? Number 4. What can you usually find on the streets in North America? Number 5. What is Ruben jealous of? Number 6. What does Ruben tell himself about pain? Number 7. How do Ruben's classmates and instructors walk? Number 8. What did Ruben want more of on his trip to Japan? Number 9. What did Chris want to eat when he first came to Japan? Number 10. What does Ruben say is important about asking questions? Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview, and I would like to say thank you very much for listening. Also, I hope that you will try the comprehension questions when you have free time so you can check your listening ability in English. And please, if you would like to be notified by email whenever a new podcast is up, become a subscriber at kjkentmsed.substack.com. You can also check out Easy English Interviews now on YouTube and purchase the textbook on Amazon. All right, thank you again, and see you next time when we will speak with another interesting person. Bye-bye from Easy English Interviews.